Thank you. Bye.
How you doing, Brandon?
Great. How are you, sir?
Pretty good.
Hold on, I gotta turn off the stupid waiting room.
We don't have to wear clothes for this, do we?
Yes, you do.
I'll be right back.
For the love of God, please wear clothes.
Who we got here?
Should have everybody. There we go. Everybody should be in.
Kevin sure hasn't gotten any better looking over the winter.
So glad Skip Chase is in.
No place to go but up.
So glad Skip Chase is here for that comment.
It helps make you look good, Brandon.
Hey, what'd you say? Huh? I'm sorry.
His being ugly helps Brandon look good.
I tried to mute you, but it seems not to work.
No, I unmuted myself.
Oh, Lord.
I'm going to mute me.
This can't get camera to work. Is that a problem? Nope. Nobody wants to see Gant anyway.
Depends on which Gant.
Robert.
Yeah, keep him off.
Exactly.
Did you pick you up some new stuff down there last week, Kevin?
I avoided the COVID. That's good. They were giving that away for free.
I'd like to see you in some orange and blue here pretty soon.
Maybe. Let's hope we play some football.
Yeah. Jeez.
Orange and blue for what sport? We ain't got no sports this fall.
We may. It's looking doubtful, but who knows?
We got 7:02. Jimmy, you got a couple more minutes. We'll start.
Yes, sir.
You all know the Big Ten just canceled their season, don't you?
Yep.
Officially?
Yeah.
When did they say that? Just a minute ago?
Yeah, just a few minutes ago.
Okay. They were still debating on it.
I don't play much football up there anyway.
Mid-South canceled, didn't they?
Huh?
Yeah,
Mid-South canceled. Yep.
And who?
Mid-South canceled.
No, they have not canceled football yet.
Mountain West canceled. I saw that today.
Yeah, Mountain West cancels.
And then I expect Pac-12 will probably follow.
The MAC canceled over the weekend, right?
Yeah. So we may have the SEC, the Big 12, and the ACC. If they
Actually, even have them.
SEC was smart by pushing it back to later in September, so they've given themselves time.
All right, fellas. Looks like we got 68 committed souls to this thing. Let's get this thing going, and that way we can get it finished. One brief thing, I just noticed this today, and I feel awful I did not point it out, or we didn't point it out, but I just saw on the website today that one of our brethren was selected as the outstanding basketball official. And so I want to publicly recognize Raymond Lightfoot for that award. He's well deserved. So everybody give a thumbs up to Raymond. Good job, Raymond. Congratulations. Sorry for the belated congratulations. So anyway, now if we can just get him excelling in football, we'll have him whipped. So that's great.
Excelling. Can we get him an average in football, please?
Just tell him what this means right here, guys. That's all I got to say. Just tell him what this means. All right. I did have a text message with Julian just about an hour and a half ago, just asking if there's any news. He said to me that basically more details next week. So that's all we can get. So that's what we got. So we'll just keep moving forward and doing the best we can with what we got, and hopefully we'll have some kind of a season. Who knows? But anyway, with that, I hope everybody's getting. If you haven't sent your money in, I understand. Don't worry about it too much till we have a reason to send it in. But once we get going, we do need to send that in. So we can keep Brandon in some kind of a fluid situation money-wise. So with that, Keith, glad to see you back and recovering, and it's all on your shoulders there, my friend.
Well, like I told everybody, the Big Ten canceled, so the dominoes in college are going to start falling here pretty soon, I believe. Like Jimmy said, they're still holding out for high school here, and I am too. Even though it's a little bit discouraging when you hear something like the power conferences going down, but it is what it is. There's nothing that we can change. We can just prepare. Now, what I would strongly suggest, because where we can't get together, is if people and I'm going to add a 16th crew here. I think I've got enough. I know I've got enough for a 16th crew, and I'm going to send those crew lists out to everybody to make sure we got everything confirmed. I would strongly suggest that our best avenue is to get together as crews and go over things, discuss things, go through case plays. I mean, I can sit here and tell you things, but not being able to get out on the field, has hurt us tremendously, especially with our brand new guys and second year guys. Like I said, it is what it is, and hopefully that we'll have a definitive answer on things pretty soon. Some of the things that I wanted, to discuss, some of the things where we've needed to make some improvement on, and I've had some officials ask me what they need to do to get better, what they need to do to be moved up the chain on rewards as far as playoffs and state championships and all that. Be sure that that you realize if you ask me a question, I'm going to give you an answer. I'm not going to give you the answer that you want to hear. And so when this has happened a couple of times already, they ask a question, I give the answer. Before I can finish the answer, they're giving me a rebuttal to it. So I'm just telling you what I'm looking for and what I need from you all. One of the biggest things is that we have a lot of officials that over officiate, that don't have a real good feel or a pulse for that game. Okay. And so we still have to come, anything involving safety, any type of personal foul, anything like that, that's automatic. There's no questions, nobody, that's fine. Unsportsmanlike conduct, that's fine. But we have to realize that there's a lot of gray areas, especially in football, and everything's not always black and white. You've got one of the things that we do the most is we call too many holdings that probably by definition they're probably holes, but they have no influence whatsoever on the play, and that goes to where that when and when not to throw a flag. You don't have to throw a flag as soon as you see something that you think is illegal, especially with holes. Run it through your mind again. See if if it's involved with the play, throw the flag or don't throw the flag. But the biggest ones that we have the most trouble with and are still having misjudging on the fouls is holding, pass interference, blocks in the back, and a blindside block. Okay. Now, the beauty of football, as I've said 1,000 times, is that we can throw a flag and then come back and wave it off if we have to. We don't want to get into a big habit of that. And, if it happens once or twice a game, that's no big deal, but we don't want to get a habit of waving off flags. But what we need to do more is if you all will believe in me when I say that using the proper mechanics, fishing in your own pond will help you out as an official, it will. When you start extending over, the one that I would have to say something to you, if I was a wing and Jimmy Powell, you're on the opposite side, and you throw a flag for somebody on my side of the field, I'm gonna have to say something to you about it, and it's probably not gonna be very, very nice, because that's not your responsibility. If I screw it up, then I screw it up. Let that one be on me. The pass interference, both players have a legitimate. If both players have a legitimate attempt at the ball, you can have contact and it not be pass interference. Pass interference should be one of those that really kind of just jumps out at you. Did the player put the other player at a disadvantage? Did he come through him? There's no more face guarding, so we don't have to worry about that. But we need to really work on, and again, if you go to your mechanics, and 5-man is a little bit more difficult than 7, but especially with 7. With 7-man, we should have every eligible should be covered probably by a primary. Okay. Blindside blocks, we're getting a whole lot better. I will say that on the blindside blocks, but realize that if a player does not, they cannot, if they don't see the block coming, is one of the indicators. Again, most of the time that we're going to have that is on balls going the opposite directions they started. We can't go and we can't keep that philosophy of, damn, that's just a good old slobber knocker. So we have to pick up better on the blindside blocks in the back. If you'll follow the simple rules of putting that V, just drawing an imaginary V behind the person that's doing the tackling, and you've got somebody coming up behind them that falls within that imaginary V that you've made there behind them, and that's a pretty good indicator that he's going to block him in the back. You know, if you don't see the whole play, don't throw the flag. We've got officials that still listen to the sidelines. You know, the louder they get, and then if they see something that remotely looks like it's illegal, they throw the flag, not seeing the whole play. So we have to concentrate on looking at the whole play. Preventive officiating. We have to do better. If you see something, if you see two kids, you know, kind of chest up to each other or mumbling something to each other, step in and do something about it. If you early in the game, if you've got that a wing or wide out that's a little bit too far up or a little bit too far back, you know, especially if you've got somebody in the no man's land, they're not on the line of scrimmage and they're not in the backfield, you know, do a little preventive officiating. Now, after that, if they don't respond to it, then foul them. Forward progress. We are, in some cases, brutally terrible in forward progress. You know, when you've got it, and the wings are going to be obviously primary on that. When you've got the forward progress, if you've got action after that, if you have to, make a mental note of where it's at. You know, if it's going out of bounds and you don't have any help over there, and you have to go on and officiate out of bounds, drop a beanbag if you have to. But what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're giving the offense the benefit of what they deserve. And also the defense, if we've got a play where somebody you've not blown it dead for forward progress, and he breaks loose and drops back a couple of yards and gets tackled 2 yards back, let's give the benefit to the defense, because we allowed the player to try to gain more yards. Rules knowledge, you know, I can't, you know, that shouldn't even be a question. But with the rules knowledge, we're going to have to know, especially with changing rules, with points of emphasis. But we can't mess up a rule. You know, like I've said many times, I can defend anything that you do as far as making a call as far as judgment. You know, I can normally defend that to some degree, but rules knowledge I can't. Okay. It might be something good. You know, I tell first year officials this, and anybody that's interested in getting into football, if they want to get into the rules, they need to go through and know the definitions. It might not be a bad instance for everybody to go back through every year and go through the definitions, just as a refresher. You know, the 4 questions, you know, when you've got a flag, especially now that we're using radios predominantly in games, you know, 4 questions a referee never wants to ask you is who, what, when, and where. You know, come to him, and if you've got a foul, whatever it is, be able to define what made it a foul. If you've got a hold, you come in and say, Jimmy, I've got a hold on number 87. It was a takedown. You know, whatever, you know, be able to, I guess, define your penalty. And definitely the when and where, you know, we need to know if it's live ball or dead ball. There was several incidents last year where we let a play go on that should have been a dead ball foul, and then begrudgingly had to come back and administer it that way after somebody they may have lost 5 yards or 10 yards on the play. But be sure that we've got it, live ball, dead ball, and then spot the foul. With penalties, make it big. Remember, let's call, we call all felonies. Okay, all felonies are called. Okay, we work with gray area. In other words, the misdemeanors, we try to see if any misdemeanor, don't call a misdemeanor unless it's involved with the play. Mechanics. Every meeting I'm going to be saying something about mechanics. You need to remember, it's your keys, especially. And what I'm going to try to do, if I can possibly scan it, I don't think we have the 4-man and 5-man on there on the site now. I'm going to try to find, I'm going to try to see if I can find another association or another group that has it where that it'll be easily transferred. If not, I'm going to see if I can scan the 4- and 5-man mechanics that I have. Key, as far as with your keys, remember, you've got your key, you start out with your keys, then you go to a zone, then you go to a man. Okay. Another thing, as when I kind of working in cruise control, you need to read, obviously, react, and then move with a purpose. Just because you're the offside official and the play goes completely away from you, you don't quit officiating. There's been many times, and this what gets you the nicks is that you have a play go to the other side, and let's say it goes to the head linesman side, and that line judge never moves off the line of scrimmage as the ball is going down the field. Okay, that'll get you a nick. As a matter of fact, that'll get you a big nick. Okay, move with a purpose. We're still, and if you, especially young guys that haven't heard it 1,000 times like the rest of these guys, use that triangle, the triangle, like I've said, as far as with the ball. Always have a set of eyes on the ball, ahead of the ball, and behind the ball. And if, the biggest thing to break, you new guys, is being a spectator. That's what kills most of us. We always, everybody wants to watch the ball. Okay, there's times that I've, as an official, that I've wanted to watch the ball, but I just stick with my responsibility. There should not be any white hat that if we have a pass interference down the field and the flag's thrown and I come on the radio and I say, Jimmy, I got defensive pass interference on number 45. And Jimmy said, no, that's all right. I saw it. Okay. He shouldn't have seen it. That should be one to where that the white hat and coming down, as far as coming down the field, that's why he needs to know what happened. Even though there's times I'm sure that I have to follow the flight of the ball. But we have to realize, stay with our mechanics, stay with our keys. Let the play happen. Let the play develop. See what the players are doing. Off ball officiating. Continue to do that. Usually a screw up on the field is usually due to poor crew communication. So if you're one of the 5 or you're one of the 7 and you've got, and something happens out there and you've got in your mind that something should be different or something should be changed or whatever, bring it up. I mean, the worst they can do is just say, no, this, we saw it this way. And, and so, no, we're doing it the correct way. And so, but, still speak up. You know, like I said, player safety trumps everything. You know, appearance. You know, there's a lot of us that don't have the look. I got a lot of officials that have the look. You look like a football official. You know, work with that. You know, when you're on the sides, one of the wings, either short or deep, stand up tall. You know, about the only person that should ever be in what I would say a crouch position or whatever is probably the umpire, and then, and probably only then, up to the snap and just right after the snap. Well, now you're going to be in the backfield unless that changes, so that might even change. New officials, best thing I can tell you to do as far as growing, ask questions and take in as much information as you can by observing and listening. Okay, here, you know, this isn't a bad thing to do. You know, after games, you know, whatever level it may be, especially if you had something that was screwy that happened in the game. I know you're investing a lot of time in this. You're supposed to be there, what is it, hour and a half before the game, and then you've got the game, and then it's over with. Take the time after a game, you know, to discuss anything that might be screwy, or discuss something that you think, you know, the rest association needs to know about this. You know, the one that I can think of is the kid that's at UK now, the lineman that was over at Lafayette. What was it, Landon? Well, whatever his name was. Anyway,
I think.
I honestly, when he went to UK, or when he signed with UK, the first thing that I said that the only way that he was going to be made successful would be to learn to legally learn how to block. Because in high school, what he ended up doing a lot of the times, he just manhandled people and basically threw them to the ground. I mean, he was that much stronger than most everybody is. And I didn't know if he'd be able, you know, well, of course, like I said, evidently somebody did get to him. You know, when you're in a group, in a crew, treat everybody the same. You know, let's not be the one where that I say something as a crew and get I get completely shot down and ridiculed or whatever it might be, because if that happens, there's a good chance I'm not going to speak up much anymore. But everybody's got a voice. You know, everybody's got an opinion. If you do something wrong on the field, you know, especially with rules, self-report. You know, go ahead and tell me. You know, if something happens in the game and we did wrong, self-report. You know, don't let me have to find out some other way. Especially if you know, that you did wrong. Before a game, you know, we're going to probably be out on the field a little bit. If we're on the field, we're probably going to be out on the field a little bit earlier than normal. I think one of the things that the bag judges talked about that we'll clarify. One of the things that they had mentioned is getting clock operators coming to meeting them in the parking lot. I really don't think that's feasible because a lot of places we don't know where we're going to be in the parking lot. That'll probably be one. I don't want people going up in the press box this year. We'll have it to where the schools realize that they have to come down and meet it. You know, the clock operators are going to meet us on the field prior to the game. And like I said, we're going to be probably spending more time on the field early than we have in the past. Be on time, Joe Steffen mentioned it to the younger guys. There's no worse of a feeling than sitting in a game and everybody should have been there by then, and somebody showing up, 30 minutes before kickoff. Now, I know there's things that happen as far as work goes, traffic, whatever it might be. If you're going to be late, be sure that you let your white hat know, and so that he can pass that on to the AD or coach if it is a very last minute thing. This is kind of an odd year because we've got a lot of things. Sports to me has always been a distraction from everything that's going on. And with all the social upheaval and everything, I can't, I'm not enjoying sports like I did on the professional level. But that's one thing that we can still do in high school. So when you come, try to just put all the distractions behind you. Have that time right there, that few hours that you're with your crew and friends, and try to take a distraction away from what's going on in your life, whatever it might be. Come to the field. As you come to the field, you want to make sure that you have an air of authority, but you don't have an air of arrogance. Okay, be approachable. Get to know your wings. You need to be able to communicate with the head coaches. Wings, you also need to be able to diffuse any situation on the sidelines. Wings, you have to have the balls to step up and throw up a stop sign when necessary if things are getting out of hand on the sideline. Your first impression is always, you're going to make a first impression every ball game that you come to officiate, whatever level it might be. So when you come on a varsity field, you want to have everything, you want to have your shoes cleaned at least. They don't have to be military shine, but your shoes clean, uniform, don't have, doesn't look like you just pulled it out of the bag, out of the back of your vehicle. So, look sharp, grooming. I know people like, as far as the beards go, I'm not gonna say that you can't have a beard. But again, that the appearance, so like I said, I'm leaving that up to you. I had Rodney Armstrong, rest his soul, all the years that I worked with him. He had that goatee, but during football season, goatee came off, and he started growing it right after our last game of the season. Fraternization. Don't give the impression that you favor one team or one individual over the other. So referees and umpires, when you go talk to a coach, try to keep it professional. There's going to be times Coach McKee's going to he may pull his iPad out and show you 4 or 5 plays that the team that he's playing is running that he says is illegal. Just shake your head, say, Coach, we'll take care of that. However much time you spend with one, spend with the other. The one good thing about switching sides for the wings that I like is that it takes away from the perception that one side, if I'm on this side of the field, I'm going to favor my side because I don't want them yelling at me. So we've kind of taken that a little bit less focus on that. During the game, if a coach asks you a question, if you know the answer, give him the answer. If you don't know the answer, tell him you'll find out the answer. If you got a penalty, coach, holding on interior lineman there. I'll get you a number. When the outcome of the game is decided, that's when you have to do a lot more officiating. Because when the game's decided, especially if it's lopsided, there's where feelings get hurt. People start doing stupid things. Again, preventive officiating will help with that. Some of the little things. In addition, as far as the pregame, make sure that everybody contacts, especially your sub-varsity games, middle school games. Sunday night, be sure that you contact and say, especially if you're the white hat, go ahead and send a text, send an email. You know, we're going to be over at Clark Moore 6 o'clock, you know, on Thursday, and then do the little things there, because I don't want people not showing up when they should. Some of the don'ts, unless you need to discuss something, stay in your position. You know, and control your position. We've got timeouts. I want somebody in one huddle, the offensive huddle. I want somebody in the defensive huddle to get them out of there. Don't be in front of the pylon when you signal touchdown. Be outside, and step in. If you want to signal stepping in, that's fine. Stay off the field. You know, don't get it to where, and we had a couple of these, and I've got them on film, of people making a call on the pylon, with the pylon being involved, and them standing, the official standing on the pylon. Be sure that you're officiating, you know, like I said, the triangle position. Don't mark off the wrong yardage for penalties. Be sure that you're not officiating dead space. And one of the things, and you know, you're going to have more than one flag, so don't quit officiating when you throw a flag. There's a lot of times where people will throw a flag and then freeze, and they'll quit officiating. This is one of my biggest ones, and you all are still doing it, and it drives me freaking crazy when I see it. Every play does not end on a line. It's virtually impossible. Well, no, it's not virtually impossible. It's impossible. It's impossible for every play to end on a line. Okay? Quit doing it. You know, when you got change possessions, all those things, punt, kickoff, yeah, start on a line. You know, after that, don't. Please don't.
Hey, Keith.
Yeah.
I found some stuff the other day. It's called the winning questions. Have you seen that before?
Yeah.
If you want to go over some of that, or can I shoot that to you, or can we talk about that?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, I thought we already had that on our webpage.
I don't know if we do or don't, but
go ahead.
It all starts with winning question that says the action is legal. Winning question, the pass is incomplete. Winning question, the passer's arm was going forward. The pass is forward and behind the neutral zone. Winning question, the pass is backward. It's beyond the neutral zone. Winning question, the ineligible was not downfield. Winning question, the runner's progress was stopped. Winning question, the ball was fumbled. Winning question, the runner is not out of bounds. Winning question, the forward pass is not touched. The kick is not touched. The ball was accidentally kicked. It was not a touchdown. It is a touchback. When in question, the block is from the side, not in the back. When in question, the block is legal, then not below the waist. When in question, it was not a face mask foul. The celebration was not prolonged or excessive. It was a football act, not a disqualifying foul. So if you want to think about any touchbacks on any of those.
Okay, the one there that I've seen in the past is incomplete pass and fumble. Okay, if there's any doubt, let's make it an incomplete pass and not a fumble in those cases. Remember that for it to be a catch, okay, if they go to the ground, they have to be able to literally be able to hand the ball to the official. Okay, we don't want to have one to where that they've made, the ball's thrown to them and for a brief second, they've got their hands on the ball, and during that brief second, they're nailed, and the ball comes loose. And, again, when it's that incomplete, for it to be a catch and a fumble, I hate to use the term have them make a football move, but have them do something that not only do they have control of the ball, they have control of their body. Okay. Backward pass, let's clearly make it, when in doubt, it's a forward pass. That should be one to where we have a set of eyes on and signaling. If we've got somebody signaling backward pass, I mean, it's a backward pass. You don't signal forward pass, but if it's backward, signal it. All these little things, and the when in doubt scenarios, what it comes down to is being able to see the entire play and run the entire play. And if we've got somebody signaling incomplete pass, and I guess you could say you have a primary and a secondary. Well, the primary was screened out by the body, and say a back judge clearly saw him make the catch, come in and discuss it. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions? Anything that I commented on tonight?
Hey, Keith,
Uh-huh.
did you talk to Julian about what we talked about? Because I
No.
did talk to him. I did send him an email about the possible him looking at the
Umpire
position of
stand.
the upper. Yeah,
No, I just forwarded him what I thought. And so actually right now, I think they're more worried about it if we're going to have a season or not. So, and that's something also that, we can look at and I mean, I'll go and observe, and if it's just not a good fit, now 7-man, I'm going to have to agree. I mean, you say, well, there's no difference. Well, there's a little bit of difference. 7-man, I'm probably going to, I could probably support it. I really can't support it that much in 5-man. But let's just see how, how that it goes. And if it doesn't, then we'll, I'd rather ask for forgiveness than permission when it comes down to it. Anything else? Okay, back to you, Jimmy.
I don't really have anything other than, hopefully by this time next week, we may have a little bit more clarity. That's what we keep saying, but it's kind of one of those hurry up and wait scenarios. I texted with Julian today and asked him if there's anything he could give me, and he just said, like I said, he just said, should know something next week. More details next week, so just wait and see. So,
Well, the clinic should be online this week. I mean, it's supposed to already be online, but I think
it's done. I know they've done it because Rob told me they've already done it.
Yeah, I talked to Rob.
Yeah, so that's it. But Brandon, on our schedule for next week, are we a full meeting? Or are we going back to positions? What was it scheduled on that? I didn't have it written down.
Full meeting. We only had one breakout meeting.
Okay. Would it be, Keith? Do you think it'd be good for us to just maybe meet as crews next week and not have to worry about this, or maybe when we find out what's going on?
I would rather, to be honest with you, meeting crews.
We're gonna just okay. So you
Yeah.
you just want to have a crew meeting next week and not have a full group?
Well, when we find out a little bit more, but right now
They won't meet. I don't think they meet till next Tuesday. I think that's the date. And so maybe we ought to just lay off 1 week and then come back after they meet and know what's going on, and then go from there. If everybody's okay with that.
I think they meet the 20th.
The 20th, Steve?
I think. I thought it was a Thursday.
They meet the 20th.
Thursday.
Okay, so really, we won't really know anything till after. Why don't we just wait till after the 20th for our next meeting? We just postpone next week's Monday night and meet as a crew. And then if there's any young guys that want to meet, they can pull up any of the white hats that are here, and they can get together with them, and we'll be glad to welcome into anybody's meeting.
Well, what I'll try to do is I'll try to send out as far as the crew, actual crew list, I guess you can say. And then like Jimmy says, anybody else, contact one of those and get involved, and especially you new guys, that's how you're gonna meet these guys. And we'll go from there. So,
well, the majority of my guys live in Lexington, so we'll probably pick a place in Lexington to try to meet, socially gather and socially distance. So anybody that wants to come, just give me a holler, and they can more than welcome to sit in with us.
well, I tell you what, all white hats, if you would, let me know where you do plan on meeting. And if I can drive with this boot on, I may come and visit some of y'all. I gotta get out. I gotta get back excited about football.
Jimmy, Keith, is it okay if we do it through Zoom?
Sure.
Okay.
That'd be great. And I can still see a couple of you.
I'm going to make my crew do wind sprints and run a little bit, so we're going to have to be together.
I hear that.
Make sure you take their temperature before you start. Follow the guideline.
Now I'm going to sit up somewhere and watch them from a distance.
You got the stopwatch.
Exactly. All right, guys. Look,
meeting next week, Jimmy. Can't make it.
Do what now?
So we have a faculty meeting next week. We can't make it.
I haven't told you the date yet, Scott. Rob, so we'll let you know.
I'm Andy.
All right, guys. Look, thanks for everything, guys. Stay safe out there. We'll postpone the meeting next week. Keith, if you'll send that out on Arbor for everybody, just so we got that, if you don't care.
Will do.
And then we'll just resume back on the 20. What was that going to be? The 24th? Is that right? Is that?
Yep. 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. We'll just have one on the
24th,
24th, and then we'll know. We ought to have some clarity by then. So, thanks, fellas. Thanks, fellas.
y'all.
Appreciate y'all.
24th is still set for the first day of practice, right? As far as we know.
Yeah,
Yes.
so far.
Okay.
So, All right, guys. Thanks bunch. Y'all be careful. Stay safe.
All right, y'all
All right.
too.
Brandon, did you get a total on that number we had?
Nope, but it'll be in the report.
It was 73, I think, if I'm not
I
sure.
don't know. Something.
What's for supper, Andre?
What's good with y'all? Y'all good?
Yeah, what's for supper?
I just ate some Penn Station and baked potato, and I'm about to eat my wife for dessert.
Okay, well, that's too much information.
You asked.
All I
Hey,
know is
hey.
I'm glad this is getting recorded still.
Yeah.
you just hit that, you scrub.
No, it's been recording the whole time. It'll be at the end.
All right,
Well,
man.
we're all
So-
good. I'm out of here,
think-
fellas. I'm gonna get some supper.
Bye.
All right,
Y'all
man.
stay safe, fellas. See you.
All right, y'all be easy. Peace.
Bye bye. If I can find the kill on this thing.